Hello everyone, welcome to the Ginger Snap Series Month of Horror-WEEN, where I'll be discussing the Halloween franchise. I am your host, Stephen Harold, and in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all the Halloween Michael Myers masks. In this list, I'm going to be going through all the Michael Myers masks that we have seen throughout the Halloween franchise, and I'm going to be ranking them from worst to best. Some are good, some are bad, some are just downright ugly. This is my list of all the Michael Myers masks. So just a little disclaimer for this video, I'm not going to be talking about all the masks in this whole entire franchise. I'm going to be only talking about the ones where Michael Myers has killed in. So you will not be seeing that gangster looking type of mask from Halloween 5. You will not be seeing any of the paper mache masks that young Michael wears in Rob Zombie's Halloween. And sadly enough to say, we will not be talking about the H6 variant of Halloween H2O's mask, just because I know there is one kill in there, but we barely get to see the mask at all, so can't really include it. And yeah, we're not going to be including the Halloween 3 masks, because like I said, this is the list of all my favorite Michael Myers masks, from worst to best. So let's get into it. Coming in at number 20 is going to be the Cgi Mask from Halloween H2O 20 years later. The fact that this mask actually ended up making it into the movie, they just didn't have the time to reshoot that scene, so they decided, let's just CGI the mask, was a stupid decision. It's one of the most awful fucking masks on the list. The fact that it's even on this list is an atrocious kind of thing. Now, I know we don't see him kill the guy in the scene, but it's worth mentioning that this mask is bottom tier. Number 19 on the list as well is the K&B mask from also Halloween H2O 20 years later. This mask was 3 weeks into production when someone finally realized that this is not a Michael Myers mask at all. And the fact that they went 3 weeks and then noticed, I don't understand. Was everyone drunk at that set? No idea. But even with the photos of this mask looks absolutely fucking atrocious. Of course, again, just like the CGI mask, it's bottom tier. It has to be. If anyone was to walk up to me and say like, oh, I love that mask, I'd be like, are you fucking high? Coming in at number 18 is going to be the Torn mask from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because this fucking mask, like I said in my review, looks like Duck Dynasty's cousin went to Spencer's Gifts, grabbed a Michael Myers mask, wiped his ass with it for like a few years, ripped it from all the friction, and then put it on. This mask is not even a Michael Myers mask. Even from a far away distance, even in this photo, it barely even looks like a Michael Myers mask. You couldn't even tell. And the fact that the movie says Halloween 2, and it's like, oh, it has to be a Michael Myers mask. This is definitely one of the worst masks of all of them, just because of the simple fact we see too much of Tyler Mane's face in it. Even the beard is kind of getting exposed in there. This mask is all kinds of awful. At number 17 is the Pink Mask from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, we accidentally shot a scene with the wrong fucking mask, and they decided, let's just keep it in. Even the director saying, like, if we only had enough time and more money, we would have reshot that scene. Dude, it was a simple, like, 2-second clip of Loomis bumping into Myers. You're telling me you didn't have enough time to just shoot that? Oh, hey, fuck, we have the wrong mask. I call bullshit on that. At number 16 is going to be the mask from Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This mask, I know, is like a cast of Greg Nicotero, but for some odd reason, I just don't see the features. And just how the mask looks with the length of the hair, the stretched out fucking neck. He looks perpetually angry throughout the whole time. And the fact that the mask is not fucking tucked in makes this mask atrocious. I know a lot of people, for some odd reason, do appreciate this mask. Yeah, maybe if they saw photos of it tucked in. But other than that, this mask was never one of my favorites. I never even thought this was ever a good fucking mask. Coming in at number 15 is the Bloody Hospital mask from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, This is a little bit of an improvement. It's the aftermath of Halloween 2007, where we see that Michael was shot in the face, and the mask looks pretty damn good. But why is it even on this list? Well, first things first, you can tell this is a completely different fucking mask from the one we saw in 2007. They just redone a new mask because the features aren't even the same at all. And on top of that, it's a dream sequence. So this mask just doesn't have the impact for it. I mean, like, yeah, there's that scene with Octavia Spencer getting stabbed to all kinds of hell. But that's not enough to save this mask with the fact that it's torn in such a way that that should have been a harbinger for things to come, that this mask was going to be ripped a lot more. At number 14 is actually going to be the Clown Mask from Halloween 1978. Now, I know a lot of people might actually rank this a little bit higher, but sadly not for me. We barely get to even see this mask at all. I mean, like, it's part of the most, memorable murder in the whole entire franchise, the murder of Judith Myers. But the fact that this mask is like he puts it on, we never get to see the full view of it. But when we finally do, it's when his dad takes the mask off and we see Michael's face. It's like you barely get to see this mask. But even though we get to see like Trick or Treat Studios come out with this mask all the time, it's a nice novelty. But it's just not, so much emphasis. But the reason why it's so much higher on this list is because it's part of the fact that that's the mask he wore when he killed Judith Myers. At number 13 is going to be the Resurrection Mask from Halloween Resurrection. Now, I know that the mask has that definitions of where it's all, makeuped up and everything like that, and the fact that he's pulling a Batman and has eyeshadow on his eyes. But for some odd reason, I didn't really mind the mask. It's not like bottom tier level as everyone else tends to make it. It's okay for what it is, but I think for the film coming out in 2002 and just the whole novelty of how that fucking film was, I think the mask is a little bit appropriate for that. Now, do I like it though? No, not really. It's not even in my top 10. Coming in at number 12 is going to be the Bandage Look from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, I kind of dug this look in a way. The fact that he's wearing a bandage throughout the whole time, and it's almost like, Jason's equivalent when he was wearing a sack, but not quite. There's another mask I definitely have to point out to you on this list. But it's the one thing that goes wrong for me with this whole entire look is that it's been 10 years since he was burned alive in Halloween 2. Why does he still have bandages on his face? That's the thing that doesn't add up to me. They just had to cover his face in a way without using a mask. They're like, oh, let's just bandage him up. If he was bandaged up on the fucking on the face, why the hell is his hands not bandaged up? That's the part that just kind of makes no sense about this. But either way, still a nice look. At number 11 is going to be the Clown Mask from Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, this is a bit of an improvement over the 78 mask because we get to spend more time with this mask. The fact that Michael Myers, we see him for the first time just wearing this mask. And he commits some of the most brutal murders with this mask on in the movie. And I feel like with this mask, now that it's become a novelty to get amongst the Halloween fans, it's one of those nice masks indeed. But the fact that, it's still kind of a clown mask, and the fact that he only puts it on when he's about to kill, that's the one thing I just never understood about Michael Myers in those Rob Zombie films. Why does he put the mask on only to kill? Either way, it's a nice mask. But why did you have to have him take it off and then he puts the shape mask on that, the boyfriend of his sister Judith just happened to bring? Too many inconveniences there. But nonetheless, still a nice mask. All right, here we are at the top 10. And coming at number 10 is the Shape Mask from Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, granted, at the time, this was the closest to the 78 mask we got. And with all the cracks and the definitions in it just being so obvious, it fits the movie in such a way. In fact, it was one of those things that, ended up blending with other masks. Like, I remember seeing do you guys remember seeing the Ghostface mask that show, it's marketed as the zombie Ghostface mask? And it's cracked all to shit. Yeah, that's pretty much what this mask did. It pretty much amplified a certain look for other masks. But either way, At the time, I appreciated this mask. I tried to replicate it as much as I could back in 2007. I fucking couldn't. But either way, still a good mask, and it does deserve to be at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is going to be the Stan Winston mask from Halloween H2O 20 years later. Now, of all the masks we got from Halloween H2O, to me, this is the best one, because this is the one we see Michael the most in. And I know there's that problem with the eyes being so visible, but the mask still looks good. And also, you guys gotta give it a hand to Stan Winston himself. The fact that this guy, he's one of my favorite idols when it comes to special effects. The fact that he made a Michael Myers mask is fucking impressive to me. I mean, like, he made one of my favorite characters, the Terminator, and made a Michael Myers mask on the side. That's fucking awesome. And whenever I think of H2O, yeah, I think of the K&B mask, how horrendous it is. I think of the CGI mask for the one fucking shot we get it in. But this mask has an association with it, is when Michael gets decapitated. Oh, Michael gets decapitated in it. And it just looks good. To me, I never had a problem with this mask. Coming in at number 8 is going to be the Moldy Mask from Halloween Ends. Now, although we don't get much of this mask, it was still nice to see. It's one of the masks that literally is, you take something that you had from the previous film and you don't really have to change much of it. You just have to make it look a little bit more disgusting. And the fact that they have mold on it and it has started to crack a little bit in certain areas, it's a nice mask. Even when, spoiler alert, Corey takes it and wears it himself, you forget that it's Corey killing these people, and he looks so much like Michael in it. It just looks great. And although we don't get to see the mask that much in the movie, I still would love to buy that mask to complete the collection of this H40 trilogy, and still worthy on being in the top 10. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the Jack-o'-lantern mask from Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, when I said the part 2 Jason Sackhead equivalent to a Halloween film is not the Bandage Look, it's the Jack-o'-lantern mask. This mask, I felt like if they had the balls to just not have the shape mask at all, and wanted to really make this a reimagining or a remake, this could have been the mask they chose. Now, although, like, it's just a simple paper mache mask, but the fact that it's all orange and just how it looks gives it that jack-o'-lantern vibe to it, this works. I mean, like, if Michael didn't have the long hair, whatever, it's the minor nitpick. But the mask still looks good, and the fact that he kills a lot of people with this mask on, it's still one of my favorites, and that's why I would love to get a paper mache zombie mask just for this look. It's one of the nicest masks on the list. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the H2 mask from Halloween 2, 1981. Now, as we all know, a lot of people don't tend to rank this, or they do in a certain way because of the fact that it's the same one from the 78 one, but because of Dick Warlock's head being different from Nick Castle's, it was shaped differently, no pun intended. So that's why a lot of people do tend to rank it on its own merits. Now, again, it's one of the nicest masks on the list for sure. The H2 mask is synonymous with a lot of fans in the Halloween franchise because it's one of their favorite sequels. And of course, as we all know, it looks very fucking good when you have blood tears on the mask. Like, that scene alone makes this mask even more memorable. To me, that H2 mask was a perfect mask at the time, but of course, when they killed him off, they had to do other masks on the list. Coming in at number 5, this is going to be some controversial shit, is going to be the mask from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Yes, it looks bad, but this is the one mask that literally has grown on me. Remember, guys, like I said in my review for Halloween 4, this was the first Halloween film I ever saw. And I know a lot of people shit on this mask for what it is, for being as derpy or whatever the hell it is. I still appreciate the mask for what it represents with that film. It's supposed to be a mask that he got from a fucking convenience store, from a Halloween store, right? And I don't mind this mask at all. It's just, like, yeah, there are problems with it. But like I said, this mask fits the movie. And for some odd reason, when people do talk about this mask being so bad, I sit there and kind of say, like, yeah, it's bad. I get it, 100%. But we've had some shittier masks. So I just don't mind this one at all. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the mask from Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. This mask is just so fucking cool. Like, honestly, like, before Rob Zombie's Halloween, the closest we ever got to the mask was whatever, right? But H6 literally had one of the nicest masks we've ever seen. Like, even though the movie's got tons of fucking problems, but like I said, it's a guilty pleasure for me. That mask was nailed. Like, a lot of people say, I know Mike and Jay from We Watched the Movie tend to say it a lot. If you get the mask right, you're gold. You're perfect. And this mask was right. Like, it made Michael fucking badass looking. And for a Michael that is supposed to look badass, he was badass in the movie. So I really love that H6 mask. And that's why it's at number 4 on this list. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the Kills mask from Halloween Kills. I love the fact that this mask has a burnt side to it. It just, how it looks menacing. It looks scarier looking. I mean, the fact that I have the fucking mask too should have been a hint at all. It just looked nice. It's not too burnt. It looks a little crispy, yeah, for sure. But it still ties into one of my favorite masks. And the fact that it looks meaner, it looks more badass than the Part 6 mask, just gives it that look. And of course, the fact that a lot of people even appreciate the Kills mask for sure. Even when you put the blood effect, when he, at the end of the movie, it looks so good. That's why the mask from Halloween Kills is at number 3. All right, coming in at number 2 is going to be a two-parter because essentially they're supposed to be the same mask from the same time. I'm talking about the mask from 1978 and the mask from the 78 flashback. Of course, the 78 mask is iconic. It always was. It was the first time we ever got to see Michael Myers in that mask. The happy accident that we got from Tommy Lee Wallace made this mask so iconic and has grown through the 44 years we've seen the Halloween franchise. A lot of people put it at number 1 on their list. And that also goes into the fact that Christopher Nelson loved that mask so much, he paid so much detail to the 78 flashback mask. That's why these two are locked in the same category. They're supposed to be the same mask. And for what Christopher Nelson did with that 78 flashback mask, he fucking nailed it. I had just wished that Trick or Treat Studios had gotten a 78 flashback mask that we could have all had. But I get it, you already have the 78 mask, why not just, just keep it as that, and you can use that as your 78 flashback. But you could tell there are some differences. But both masks are absolutely beautiful and so iconic, especially the mask from 1978. And of course, guys, number 1, you probably would have guessed it. It is the 2018 mask from Halloween 2018. This mask ultimately had become my favorite mask in the whole Halloween franchise. The fact that this mask has a 40-year age to it with the cracks, the discoloration, Michael looked menacing in this mask. And this was absolutely the closest they got to that 78 mask before the 78 flashback came out for Halloween Kills. But I loved this mask. The mask itself had this big deal to it. When we saw that poster and we saw that mask, we were like, that mask looks amazing. So much so that when Trick or Treat Studios came out with their 2018 mask, it, to no surprise, sold out, right? It caused people like me who live in Canada to wait till 2019 to get these masks in stores. Now they're fucking everywhere. And the fact that this mask also has a great synonymous feeling to me with this. This was obviously the mask that I have right next to me here that I wore for my fan film The Night He Babysat. This 2018 mask, just everything about it, it was the reason why it was in one of my favorite Halloween films of all time. And just the look of it, the amount of detail to it, and just the simple fact of how good it looks, deserved to be on this list. And obviously, on my list, of course, my own opinion, it is the best mask of the Halloween franchise. So tell me, guys, what do you think is the best Michael Myers mask in the franchise? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you also hit that thumbs up and also subscribe for more spooky content. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can get notified about all the other videos that will be coming out later on this channel, and the last video coming out for this month's Horror-WEEN. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. This has been the Ginger Snaps Here's month of Horror-WEEN. I am Stephen Harold. I'll talk to you guys later, and remember, everyone's entitled to one good scare.